sound is resonance and vibration, and how people like Kid Cudi, they be um, they derived it from us. So yes, we're the original instrument. Our vocal cords is the original instrument, and hopefully this isn't lagging like it looks like on my screen. But oh well. So anyway, yeah. So people who do that, like Kid Cudi, people be feeling it because it's a vibe, and it's literally a vibe. That's what it is. So even when you move your mouth like that to create that sound, you can feel a vibration when you're humming. And so English, they always call it a bastardized language. It's not. I mean, it is bastardized because most of the words they're taken from other languages, which just goes back into another conversation that is leads to infinite regression. Because if you break everything down far enough, they can all turn into each other. Because everything, are just parts on a spectrum. So even opposites are just two opposite ends of the same exact spectrum. Law of polarity, law of opposites. And you can go beyond any man written laws or whatever, and you can actually see these things play out. And that's why they're real. Like, forget everything that people say are rules and everything like that. What you see, what you can actually see play out, that's real. That's real science. Today, we don't have enough real scientists, real inventors, real artists, and that's a part of the reason why it's very the collective is not really they are expanding, don't get me wrong, like we're in the age of Aquarius and everything, but or we're entering the age of Aquarius, we're still on the cusp with Pisces, which you can tell is very obvious. Most people are still in illusion, or else they wouldn't have put that thing in their arm, and society wouldn't have been able to shut down because we wouldn't have collectively agreed to that. That's the real democracy. Another real universal law on Earth is we automatically create our reality based on the things that we agree to collectively. So if you see anything playing out in mass, we accepted it in mass. Get mad if you want to. Look at me. Look at my skin color. Look at my gender. It's everybody's fault. It just is. And until we stop acting like spiritual children and complaining and crying about the state of the world to government, mommy and daddy, and pick this shit up for ourselves, first recognizing the part that we all played in creating more illusion between us and our sovereignty, then it is what it is. You know, we don't really care enough. So anyway, English though, the reason it's a language that is very easy to spell cast on yourself, and very easy to just use it in a way that is not in your favor. One, because of how we're taught to use the language and the things that we're not taught. Um, but also because it is such a new language, it's not ancient, it's not made with the power. Like, okay, when I say it's new, I mean it's not like an ancient prehistoric language that they were using in the initial big civilizations or something like that. No, look, we were using indigenous languages, and they had the power of the tongue. And this is why In Catholic schools, they teach the kids Latin, and in their church service in mass, they do part of that. Oftentimes, they do it in Latin. This is because they're doing witchcraft. So, to do the ritual properly, you need to create those certain inflections with the voice in combination with the tongue and the mouth. Because when you do that, it's basically like how people do mantras and affirmations and spell work and things like that. Sounds create resonance with different frequency vibrations that are the equivalent of those things, but for whatever the purpose of those sounds hold. So even when you hear hey yeah yeah yeah, that's something American Indians do, and that creates a certain inflection. I go into the powwows and everybody doing it live, and it's a certain resonance, and it evokes different energies, different energy signatures. It's very powerful. So if you feel inclined to make a certain sound, but it doesn't make sense in English, you should do it. If you feel inclined to learn a different language, even though you think it doesn't have any use to you, especially if it's a really, really old indigenous language, you should do it. And you can start incorporating that into your spiritual practices. You can do your different evocations and things like that with it. Evoke more power, and think about all the energy, all the people who existed on the planet when different languages uh, were being used, or where all of these type of ancestors weren't using English at all. You know. So yeah, but this ties into all creative things. Whatever you feel inclined to create, don't question it. Just make it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a scribble on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter if it's an abstract painting, if it's a one sentence poem, if it's a house made of small sticks for ants. You can make whatever it is, as they say, your heart desires, because the seat of the soul is located. It's in more than one place physically, but it's here, and it's here in like belly area primarily. And so all of those, I don't think I ever did a video where I talked about all of the like common expressions and sayings, and the occult meanings behind them, where they actually come from. But yeah, so the heart's desire is about following your soul's calling. uh, it's not about necessarily just romantic love, as the human ego often likes to fantasize and conflate things with. So, just like the idea of love that people mention a lot in the spiritual community, and I think people think, oh, let me find my twin flame and all this type of stuff. And really, that frequency of love, it's the fact that the separation that you think that exists between us is not what you think it is. We're all highly connected. So, how can I not love you if I love myself on a soul level? Anyway, and when you remember that, how you operate on that frequency. But anyway, I think that I might going to cut this video short. I wanted to talk about a couple other things, but I think I'll put it in another video because I gotta do something right now. Yeah, I think I'll be right back. All right, thank you. Bye.